Hello, and welcome to the Urban Dharma NC podcast. In this seventh part of a series, Dorje Lopon Dr. Hun Lye teaches about the songs of Milarepa, the 11th century Tibetan saint who reached the ultimate state of awakening. The presentation of these profound songs is integrated with teachings on the Guruyoga of Milarepa sadhana, in order to introduce a more contemplative and experience-based approach to practicing this liturgy. Urban Dharma is a Buddhist temple in the heart of Asheville, North Carolina. We are supported by your generosity and by our online store, TibetanSpirit.com. To learn more about us, come visit our temple in person, or look us up online at udharmanc.com. Thanks for listening.
So we'll start on page 1 of recitations. All mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in a state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in a state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in a state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Top of page 6. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. Merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. So this morning we will continue with both the sadhana as well as some of the Milarepa songs. The sadhana, if you turn to page 23, so up until this point, if you were here yesterday, you would recall that in terms of the sadhana, where we are is we have done the self-blessing, which is the vocabulary used here, or the self-generation, whereby the form described here, the divine form described here, is that of Heruka and Vajravarahi. And so we are both Heruka and Vajravarahi. Even though the language of this text and many other texts sometimes seems to suggest that I am Heruka and then embracing me is Vajravarahi, as if Vajravarahi was some other entity somewhere. That's I think something to do with grammatically how it has to be translated, but the meaning is not that you are Heruka and then Vajravarahi is something added on, but rather you are both Heruka and Vajravarahi, which is the emptiness and the appearance aspect united together, conjoined, the inseparability of wisdom and compassion, the simultaneous kind of co-emergent nature of phenomena, both empty and appearing, the co-emergent nature of clarity, awareness. These are all synonyms: clarity, awareness, luminosity, and emptiness. So this is what this male and female deities, what their essence really is. And it's of course expressed within cultural parameters of a particular deity with a particular form. And so the self-blessing is to remind ourselves that our fundamental innate identity is the Buddha state. So then you could say only from that state, it is said, are we proper only from that state are we capable of coming face to face with the enlightenment that the Guru represents. So often we do sadhanas without reflecting on what does this mean then? What does it imply in other ways, other contexts when we, in this case, when we relate to the teachers, the gurus. So we think, sadhana is but I do the sadhana, I'll meditate really hard. Then that meditation is separated from our day-to-day lives. Then we say, and if you have a lot of belief in sadhanas, then you could do sadhanas for years and years and years. And then after a while you say, wait, that doesn't translate quite to, other areas of my life. And so it's necessary to think, so what does it mean that, you have to generate yourself as this deity in several, skillful means and wisdom, that you have to generate the deity in order to really see the Guru. Otherwise, the Guru cannot be seen, much less to relate to, much less to benefit from that, having that relationship with the Guru. If we don't know what this means, So what this means is that we need to make sure that we are bringing, our highest, our best, our strongest effort, our strongest dedication. Otherwise, you will not meet the Guru. Guru could be right in front of you, but you don't see yourself as deity. If you don't see yourself as deity, to some degree, you will never see the Guru. You see a friend, you'll see, even worse, you see someone that you're paying to entertain you, someone that you're paying, so to say, to make you feel good about yourself, someone that you take pictures with, someone that you put pictures on Facebook to show other people that you're with the Guru. But you're not, you will not encounter the Guru, and therefore you will not receive the benefit of the real purpose of even having that relationship. So if you are, half-hearted about yourself, then everything that you perceive is going to be half-hearted from the other side. Then it's not going to work. So at the beginning of this, you say, I have a hard time thinking of myself as divine, as Heruka, Vajravarahi, inseparable. Of course, people get caught up in the difficulties of imagining images that they're unfamiliar with. And so much kind of stress and energy is spent fighting that. I don't know, this image is not native to me. No, it's so foreign. No, it's so difficult. You're missing the point if you spend, fighting that. The harder thing is not that. The harder thing is to be able to have enough confidence to say, my innate nature is deity. And what does that mean to say why my innate nature is deity? What does that mean? It certainly doesn't mean, it's really difficult, I'm giving up. It's so inconvenient, I'm giving up. I have other things I have to attend to, I'm giving up. Well, that's certainly not deity. If anything else, often we want to think, deity means, light coming out, love coming out, wisdom coming out. Sure. Deities are painted that way. Deities are described that way. But what does that description mean? It means that we don't give up. It means that, yes, we can do more to dedicate to others. It means that when things get difficult, get hard, get challenging, we don't give up. At the very least, that's what being deity means. Yeah? So at the beginning of this, we are only realistically, right, a little bit convinced that, yeah, maybe I'm deity. Then to that degree, maybe the Guru is present. Then a little bit more, and as you elevate, your own view of your own capacity, then whatever Guru you're looking for becomes clearer and clearer. Then there is the possibility of receiving the four empowerments. Yeah, otherwise, it's not possible, to receive the four empowerments. Then you could do these practices forever, but there's no connection to how the mind, the heart needs to change, Why you do so much of it? You do so much of it so that, you get that connection. And there's the story of Asanga, right? In retreat for a total of 12 years in the end. But initially it was 3 years. And then after 3 years, he was meditating so hard to try to get some signs of his realization. And the typical signs for these practices involve, and sort of the expectation of seeing Maitreya, the future Buddha, the Lord of loving kindness. Maitri is metta, so Maitreya, the future Buddha, his name is the friendly one, the loving one, Maitreya. So he was waiting, and after 3 years he gave up. He said, there's no indicator, no sign that this is working. So he left his cave, And I don't remember the details but each of these 3 years when he gives up and leaves his cave, he encounters someone doing something impossible. I don't remember the sequence of what the impossibilities are. But one of them was a guy with a cloth polishing a big iron pole. And so he asked, what are you doing? And he said, well, I need a needle, and this is all I can find. So I really need the needle. So I'm trying to polish this iron pole down to a needle. And then really Asanga said, oh my gosh, someone who needs just a needle is willing to put in so much work and patience. And I'm trying to be awakened. And after just 3 years, I already think it's not working. Of course it's not going to work if I have that kind of attitude. So he turns around and goes back. So three of such occasions. So now 9 years. Now he's went back into retreat. In the 12th year, there was still no indication that his practice, at least according to his conceptual mind, things are not. Of course, you have to understand, this is not my Asanga. It's not an ordinary person sleeping in his cave for 12 years. He's way ahead of us, but even that, it just shows, you could still be discouraged. So don't think of Asanga as some, ordinary practitioner, part-time practitioner, or like us, 10% time practitioner on a good day. He's not, he was totally dedicated. But, no face-to-face with Maitreya, he says. So he gives up, he comes out, and then while walking back into town, he saw a dog that has an open wound. And the open wound is covered with maggots. And so immediately, love and compassion welled up in Asanga completely. And he was trying to figure out how to, relieve the dog of that pain. Then he thought, if he picked the maggots out with his fingers, it will harm the maggots. And so he used his tongue. Attempted to use his tongue to pick up the maggots from the dog. The dog was whimpering and probably even tried to bite him because, it's in pain, right? And as Asanga's tongue touched the first maggot, the dog turned into Maitreya. And so the first thing Asanga said is, where have you been all this time? Even Asanga is a complainer. I don't know. The rest of us don't have much hope. Sometimes it seems, if after 12 years of retreat, Maitreya appears and he said, complains, instead of, oh, you're here. It's like, where have you been? And so Maitreya said, who did you think those 3 encounters that you had? The guy with the pole polishing to get a needle. And he said, who do you think those, 3 people were? And then Maitreya made a bigger point and said, I have never been not here. It's just your own obscurations can't see me. You're not seeing yourself as deity. And so you're not going to see me. But at least you saw the ridiculous guy polishing a pole into a needle. Right? The stories don't say much about this, but again, we need to push this a little bit. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Is it even intelligent? Well, if you use your intelligence to try to measure that situation, right? The guy with the pole polishing for a needle, then Asanga will not go back into the cave. Asanga will say, this is really crazy. And he'll walk off. Right?
I'll give him a needle.
Well, yeah, so you give a needle and walk away. Then finish. Right? But Asanga had enough purification at that point to not judge that situation as ridiculous, either walk away or even giving a needle, but he got it. I have to do something even more unreasonable than that. That is all in the context of our Dharma practice of relating to seemingly ridiculous situations that we find ourselves in practicing Dharma. We could use our intelligence and say, oh, no. Well, then that's it. But in this case, Asanga, instead of finding fault with that situation, turn it around and say, wow, if someone just needing a needle would put that kind of dedication, me claiming to want to end samsara for all beings, what about? So it turns back. Right? And so by seeing, Maitreya said, if you weren't doing serious practice in the cave, you would not have seen the guy. You would not have seen any of the 3 guys. So how many of us have walked around seeing situations and just, it meant nothing? In our lives, how often have we encountered difficulties? Especially difficulties in Dharma practice. And then we say, no, that's ridiculous. And turn around. I need to go find another center. I need to go find another teacher. I need to go find another tradition. All of that. So, Maitreya said, if you don't believe, if you still don't believe what I said, I tell you what, why don't you put me on your shoulders, carry me on your shoulders, and go into town. And let's see what happens. Asanga thought, okay. So, Maitreya hopped on his back. Yeah, so he carried Maitreya into town. He was quite worried, thinking people in town might think, why is carrying this grown man on his back, So Asanga carried. But apparently, nobody seemed to notice that he was carrying this grown man. Finally, it said that one old woman, maybe the same old nanny goat, after meeting Milarepa, time-space continuum broached. Right? Asanga lived way before Maitreya, Milarepa. And she said to Asanga, why is there a dog's hind leg hanging from your shoulders? She didn't even see the whole dog. She saw, weirdly, some dog leg. That's all she saw. And the rest of them, forget about seeing Maitreya. They didn't even see the dog. So where has Maitreya always been? Maitreya was Asanga's guru. So it said that as a result, then Maitreya gave Asanga 5 important treatises, shastras, that forms the basis of the Chittamatra tradition. The 2 main lineages, profound view and vast activities. And the 5 shastras of Maitreya, the vast activities. Vast activities means, action. Profound view is the view coming from Manjushri, the 2 great bodhisattvas. And only then, So then Asanga really yeah, you're right. Without purifying, without elevating our own view of who we are, truly, then we will never. Even superficially, if you think you are so devoted to Guru, especially some, very amazing Gurus, and definitely there are a lot of very amazing Gurus, but don't think that you actually have a Guru-student relationship just because you go to every single teaching. As long as you don't view yourself in some degree, as long as you don't have an experience, that's what viewing means, okay? Not superimposing, or wearing a mask and now look like Heruka. But having the experience of, of yourself, unshakable, and confidence that is unshakable, determination that is unshakable, at the very least, commitment that is unshakable. Otherwise, again, it will not work. Things will blow a little bit and then off we go. So at this point in this practice, you really need to have this. So don't get stressed over, I don't know how Vajravarahi looks. I don't know how Heruka looks. That's a minor problem. The bigger problem is, this confidence, right? So maybe some stress needs to happen there, because without stress, we're not going to grow. We have become so stress adverse. Everybody, I'm stressed, and then we become so stress adverse I mean, look at Milarepa's stress that Marpa had to devise for him. All the great teachers, masters of all lineages and traditions of the past, beyond Buddhist tradition, any spiritual tradition, spiritual work is hard work. But unfortunately, these days we have associated, especially Buddhism, I think of all the spiritual traditions, as relaxing. Of course, a lot of language in Dzogchen and Mahamudra talking about relaxing. But those teachings weren't given to people like us. Then again, now teachers who need to eat feel no choice. I have to give some teachings about relaxing so people will come. Yes, it's bodhisattva activity to offer people some relief. Yeah? And so it's not being dishonest. There's a time and place. Yeah? Right now, at least. Yeah? That's not what we're offering in this program. Yeah? So now we're talking Milarepa. So I have to talk Milarepa now. You know? If you feel like, wait, what's going on with him? Why is he talking like that? Well, it's a different context now. Now I'm assuming if you're listening, you're Dharma practitioners. Yeah? You're not just stressed and seeking some sort of temporary relief and then going back and living whatever life you think is how it should be done. Yeah? I make the assumption here that you're Dharma practitioners. And if I don't say this, then I'm not doing my job. So too much have been emphasized on, relaxing and don't do anything, just feel good. No one ever achieved spiritual breakthroughs that way. Nobody. Doesn't matter, Buddhist or not, Sufi, Christian, Hindu, Sikh, Native American, nobody. Indian shamans. Veronica is visiting from Peru. I'm sure she will agree too. No, nobody. Not even in the jungles of Peru or the high mountains in the Andes. They're spiritual figures who made breakthroughs by taking it easy. You cannot, So Trungpa Rinpoche said, at all costs, if you can afford it, avoid practicing the Dharma. Because it's really inconvenient. He says, why would you want to mess up your life like that? He said this, in the 70s. Way before, all this popularization of Buddhist techniques, to be better bankers and better investment, bankers and better, performers and better actors and better, writers and, have your samsara and eat it too. He said, Dharma is hazardous to your life. Somebody asked about crazy wisdom some time back, about crazy wisdom in my class in Malaysia. I said, crazy wisdom is the wisdom that, that really challenges status quo. Really challenges the way we want kind of settle into status quo. So right now, very unnerving for many of us because of events that are spinning around. Very unnerving. But right now is the time to apply the teachings. Instead of that, we get sucked into more of that storm. Then it's not going to work. So page 23 now describes the recitation. It says, so you don't need to recite this. I will read it out loud, and it's better you just focus on hearing what the visualization looks like, and then you just meditate on this visualization, which is how we've been doing the sadhana. On the moon mandala, in the center of the heart, is an Om syllable encircled by the mantra. Meaning on the moon disk, in the center of your heart. In your heart is Heruka Vajavarahi. And you can think of the Om either in Heruka's heart or in Vajavarahi's heart or in both of their hearts. Doesn't matter. Rays of light radiate, which transform the outer container into deity forms, meaning all of outer phenomena, both animate and inanimate, are transformed so that we see all beings as deities and all inanimate objects as the ornaments and the qualities of a pure realm, a pure land. Sounds experienced as mantra, and thoughts transform into the mind of Dharmata, into the wisdom mind, free from confusion. All thoughts, all feelings, all emotions. Within this state of the great expanse of equality, which is the great expanse of all having the same nature, without high or low, better or worse, remaining in this state, then later we repeat the mantra of Milarepa. This meditation is sometimes called recollecting the three immutables, or the three vajra. Vajra means immutable, unshakable. What are these three unshakable natures? Meaning all forms are deities, all sounds are mantra, and all thoughts and emotions are wisdom. These are the three vajras. I will say the mantra one time. You just continue to meditate. And then after saying it one time, I will explain the meaning of the words in this mantra before we all together recite the mantra. Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Deva Dakini Saparivara Dhyana Siddhi Phala Hum. This mantra has the 3 syllables of Om Ah Hung. Om Ah at the beginning and Hung at the end. These 3 syllables, Om Ah Hung, are the awakened body, speech, and mind blessings. They frame the rest of the mantra. Om Ah in the beginning and Hung at the end. And just like the mantra of Jiden Sumgun that some of you are familiar with, Om Ah Namo Guru, and so on and so forth. And then at the end is also Hung. Then here, Maha Guru, the great Guru, Maha is great. Vajra-dwaja. Vajra-dwaja is Milarepa's name in Sanskrit. Deva Dakini. Deva is the idam. Dakini is the third of the 3 roots. So this mantra includes the 3 roots. The root of blessings, Guru. The root or source of accomplishment by practicing the idam, the deva. And the source of activities, Dakini. These are the 3 roots. Saparivara refers to the retinue. So we invoke the Mahaguru, Vajradwaja, then the idam, called Deva, then the Dakini, and all the rest of the retinue of Milarepa. Jnana Siddhi is the accomplishment of wisdom knowledge. Jnana Siddhi. Phala is fruit or result. So the mantra basically invokes the awakened body, speech, and mind blessings and the accomplishment of wisdom knowledge, that which leads to the awakened state. Now together, Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Devadhagini Saparivara Jnana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Devadhagini Saparivara Jnana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Devadhagini Saparivara Jnana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Devadhagini Saparivara Jnana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Devadhagini Saparivara Jnana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Devadhagini Saparivara Jnana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Devadhagini Saparivara Jnana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om A Mahaguru Vajradwaja Devadhagini Saparivara Jnana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om Mahaguru Vajra-dvaja Devathakini Saparivara Dhyana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om Mahaguru Vajra-dvaja Devathakini Saparivara Dhyana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om Mahaguru Vajra-dvaja Devathakini Saparivara Dhyana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om Mahaguru Vajra-dvaja Devathakini Saparivara Dhyana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om Mahaguru Vajra-dvaja Devathakini Saparivara Dhyana Siddhi Phala Hum. Om Mahaguru Vajra-dvaja Devathakini Saparivara Dhyana Siddhi Phala Hum. On the top of 24, there are some instructions. I'll read just a little bit. It says, maintain the Guru's mandala, meaning the visualization in front of you. Your own innate mind, which now appears as the Heroka Vajavarahi in union, and the mode of existence of the natural condition. The way things are rather than the way they appear, the mode of existence or the mode of abiding within the view of Mahamudra. And so the mode of existence, your own innate mind, the Guru's mandala, as indivisible, meaning joined together as having one same nature. And from this non-dual understanding, then we engage in seemingly dualistic supplication that's coming next. So this is really an interplay between, I think, working with how we still have emotions and longing, for example, on the relative level. So it's not enough to just declare the ultimate level, because we're emotionally not ready, and therefore incapable of, accessing the ultimate. And so then relative methods are given. And so these supplications that come, but don't see them as relative in the sense of not real. Shantideva says, without relying on the relative, you cannot reach the ultimate. More specifically, this is in the context of the two bodhicittas. Ultimate bodhicitta is the awakened state itself. That's the final attainment that we achieve. The final generation of bodhicitta is to generate the ultimate bodhicitta. But ultimate bodhicitta can never be reached without relying on conventional bodhicitta. And it's conventional bodhicitta that has the two aspects of aspiration and engagement that we repeat at the beginning of practices. All those fall under relative bodhicitta. So we have to rely on relative bodhicitta. So now here we do these supplications on page 24 in the middle of that page. Together we'll repeat this. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the precious Guru Buddha. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the all-pervasive Dharmakaya. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the great bliss Sambhogakaya. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the compassionate Nirmanakaya. Let's turn back to 24. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the precious Guru Buddha. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the all-pervasive Dharmakaya. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the great bliss Sambhogakaya. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the compassionate Nirmanakaya. Page 24 again. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the precious Guru Buddha. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the all-pervasive Dharmakaya. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the great bliss Sambhogakaya. All Mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, supplicate the Guru, the compassionate Nirmanakaya. 24 again. Now this time in Tibetan. Ma nam khadang nyam pe sen chen tam je lama san je rimpo je la so wa dheb so. Ma nam khadang nyam pe sen chen tam je lama kun gyam chu ki gu la so wa dheb so. Ma nam khadang nyam pe sen chen tam che lama de chen lon chu zo be gu la so wa deb so. Ma nam khadang nyam pe sen chen tam che lama tu je tru gu pu la la pro be gu la so wa de so. The next supplication is actually something that Gampopa composed. This is called the Four Dharmas of Gampopa, but rearranged as a prayer. So let's repeat that. I and all sentient beings supplicate for blessings so that our mind turn towards the Dharma. We supplicate for blessings so that the Dharma becomes the path. We supplicate for blessings so that the path dispels confusion. We supplicate for blessings so that confusion may dawn as primordial wisdom. So these are the four dharmas of Gampopas. So in Tibetan, Dadan sem chen tam che lo cho su dro wa jin ji lab du so cho lam du dro wa jin ji lab du so lam tru wa seo wa jin ji lab du so tu bwa ye se su char wa jin ji lab du so. So let our minds turn towards the Dharma. Then not only that we are attracted to the Dharma needs to become our path, needs to become our way of life. And then our way of life, the path, right, has to dispel confusion. If we keep Dharma this side, way of life over here, and confusion over here, then they will never touch each other. So we need to pray, because sometimes we lose interest in Dharma. We get distracted. Yes, of course, we always have other reasons to do other things rather than Dharma. Yes, of course. I would agree, number one, we need balance. But then always the question is the balance going to remain like that? Or are we going to push to a higher balance? Or are we going to push to a higher balance? If it remains like that, that's why we are still in samsara. Because that's samsara's game. Right? Mara came to Buddha and said, no. Future Buddha sitting under the tree said, that's enough. You've done a lot already. Just chill. No, it's enough already. Buddha says, no. So, very reasonable, Well, if we continue to be reasonable with samsara, then samsara would love you. But it says, stir samsara from its depths. So then we pray, may I not lose interest, so may my mind turn to the Dharma. But then, sometimes we get stuck there. So we just read a lot about Dharma, go to every teaching that we can. And, really intensely writing everything down, which is good, please don't stop. I need you all to know these terms, know these words. You all have to sit here and do this. So then we, now Dharma. But then Dharma does not become our life, as in our day-to-day life. We keep them separate. Oh, I'm now at the temple learning Dharma. And then there's life. Then always, I've said it, then Dharma will just be basically in the same list of things, of other things. I need to go to the gym, I need to go to Pilates, I need to go to yoga, I need to go to Dharma. Then when push comes to shove, something got to give. Right? Then especially because Dharma, for the most part, for a lot of people, you don't have a subscription. So that you will give up first. But I've already paid my gym fees. If I don't go, it's a waste. So Dharma, it says, becomes the path. Becomes how I live my life. And then living that, you can also get stuck, That it seems like it's not dispelling confusion. Because then we turn Dharma into like a badge that we wear. It becomes like we have to argue with people about this badge, this identity. You get caught up in Dharma politics, which is really drama and politics, and not Dharma. Or you get caught up because you're so active at the center. Then you get caught up and you take refuge in the center. Then the center is going the way you want it to go, you're very happy. Then the center doesn't go the way you want to go, you crash. Not going to work. Right? So let Dharma, let your life, which is now infused with Dharma, clarify, dispel confusion. When confusion is dispelled, then you understand that energy that is feeding confusion is now manifesting as wisdom. Then at that level of practice, the more seeming neurotic energy that you see, of course, at that point, what you see as neurotic, maybe at our point now, seems like, oh, it's such a small thing. They say that for ordinary beings, right, are still very insensitive to the power of afflictive emotions. It's like having a hair on your palm. Do you feel anything when you have a strand of hair on your palm? Probably not, unless you really pay attention. But for bodhisattvas, even subtle afflictive emotions feels like a hair in the eye. That sensitive. So in this level, it's only at this level that we can say, chaos and confusion, the more it comes, the more we can manifest wisdom. So, not at the beginning. So this 4 dharmas of Gampopa, we can spend a whole weekend, just going into detail. So this is the prayer of the 4 dharmas of Gampopa, on page 26 now. We supplicate for blessings so that all our karmic, afflictive, cognitive, and habitual obscurations are purified at this very moment. We supplicate for blessings so that they are purified on this very seat. We supplicate for blessings so that they are purified in this very session. We supplicate for blessings so that our minds are purified. We supplicate for blessings so that our minds are fully liberated. We supplicate for blessings so that our minds are liberated at this very moment. We supplicate for blessings so that we are liberated on this very seat. We supplicate for blessings so that we are liberated in this very session. We supplicate for blessings so that the most excellent and unmistaken samadhi arises in our minds. We supplicate for blessings so that it arises at this very moment. We supplicate for blessings so that it arises on this very seat. We supplicate for blessings so that it arises in this very session. We supplicate for blessings so that the most excellent and unmistaken primordial wisdom arises. We supplicate for blessings so that it arises at this very moment. We supplicate for blessings so that it arises on this very seat. We supplicate for blessings so that it arises in this very session. On other occasions, we can look at this particular prayer in more detail. Now, there is a special prayer as well, which is from a pure vision of the 17th throne holder of Drikung Kagyu, Gyalwan Rinchen Punso. And that is on the top of page 29. This is the praise to Milarepa. Persevering in accord with your Guru's instructions and by completely sacrificing your own life, you who uphold the doctrine of the practice lineage and has attained the siddhis, Mila Dorje Gyaltsen, I supplicate you with yearning devotion. For the generation of renunciation and sadness, and for the self-recognition of the self-existence, I supplicate you, please hold me with your compassion. Mila Dorje Gyaltsen is Vajra-dwaza in Sanskrit in the mantra. Dorje Gyaltsen. He has another name. The title of this practice is Shepa Dorje. Shepa Dorje is laughing Vajra. Dorje Gyaltsen is a Vajra victory banner. So this is another name of Milarepa. Here it says, for the generation of renunciation and sadness. Then again, Buddhism or many Buddhist techniques and teachings is promoted, on the popular level as happy. Here, serious Dharma practice says, for the generation of renunciation and sadness. It's like, what? I don't want to be sad. Sadness at, kind of like looking at, how we again and again and again and again get caught in this cycle. Sadness in, how long are we going to continually be caught up in this? Here, sadness also has the sense of like, with this pure, longing for Milarepa's blessings, for Milarepa's example. We call out the Milarepa to come, inspire us, motivate us to be like him. He's a good example we obviously we're not living in times like his. The specifics of his life is not what we're talking about, but his determination, his devotion, his willingness to really actualize the Dharma, turning from a murderer to a bodhisattva in one lifetime. In the depths of darkness, resentment, anger, hate, and guilt, and all of that, he pulled himself out of that. And so following this, so when this is done in Tibetan in the prayer, the lines before, it's done in a very kind of slow, almost haunting chant. It's kind of on the relative level, right? Creating this emotional texture of longing and sadness, and calling out to Milarepa. Je mila shepa Dorje sowa debso 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 je mila shepa dorje so je mila sheba dorje la so wa deb so je mila sheba dorje la so wa deb so je mila sheba dorje la so wa deb so je mila sheba dorje la so wa deb so.
Thank you for listening to the Urban Dharma NC podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, we hope you'll consider supporting our mission to foster a deeper understanding of the teachings of the Buddha, to build meaningful community, and to integrate contemplative teachings into everyday life. We invite you to make a donation online at udharmanc.com or make a purchase at our store, tibetanspirit.com. Thank you. May all beings benefit.